So to dive in a little deeper on the cage system and how to actually use these shapes. So the backing track that I've pre-made is in the key of C. It's just over a C chord. And the most important thing with these shapes is visualizing the root system in there. So in the C chord, your basic old C chord that you learn the first couple weeks of playing guitar, you've got a C in the bass here, your ring finger. And you've got another C on the B string, first fret, with your index finger. It's important to see that little, what I call, it's like a reverse diagonal shape. Just make sure you see that. So, because then you can align it with whatever backing track, whatever key you're in. So in this one, we're in the key of C. We can align it to C on that A string and B string up here on the 15th fret. And you've got that chord system there. That is the most important part of this, because then, like I said, you can align it, and then you can, I like to think of playing music like the little kids game where you're putting the triangle in the triangle slot, the square in the square slot, the circle in the circle slot, and those slots are coming on a conveyor belt that's always moving. That's the flow of the music. And with this system, it allows you to match those shapes. So if we're playing a song and we're over C chord, we're like, oh, we've got C shapes. We can, oh, a D chord's coming up. You know, that's just off the top, but that's, you know, that's the example. Music's coming. We've got to be able to match these shapes up with the music that's coming. So let's just use that C chord over this C chord backing track, and you can just see what these chord tones only are going to sound like over it. So off the gate, it sounds pretty musical. There's so much more to do with this. This is like ground zero, like super basics of the basics with the cage system. See the shape, see there's root notes within the shape. And just for another quick idea to be able to practice these things, the best way I found to practice it is make the chord shape and say out loud, that is a C chord, C major. And then play the notes, and then play only the octave or the root notes. C, C. So say C chord, note names, C, C, reverse diagonal. And just do that over and over. That will ingrain this shape in your head. Like I said, it's not important to play the whole bar chord as much as it is to see the whole bar chord, because then you can choose the little triads within the shape, and that's another rabbit hole. You get all your triads from the cage system too. It's super easy. Once you have the gist of the cage system, you can see triads all over the fretboard, thus you can play music all over the fretboard. It's not that complicated. It just takes repetition. So C chord, root note system. Go from there. Start with that. Then you can get into your pentatonics, your arpeggios, your diatonics based around that shape. And we'll do this with every shape. There's only 5, so it's pretty simple.